Well, hello. Welcome to the Pure Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Cheryl B. And this is the first episode of this podcast. And I'm super excited to be able to talk to you guys and to be able to enter the podcast world. Something that I never thought I would be doing, but I've learned that if I want to get a message out to my audience, that podcasting is probably the way to go. You can always go Facebook Live or YouTube Live or on Instagram, which I do post on Instagram. But I decided for me, the best thing to do would be to go into podcasting. So I want to make my podcast as organic as possible. I'm not trying to have it too scripted unless I have a guest on, but that won't be for a while. I think for a while it's just going to be you and me. And I'm going to be sharing with you the things that I have discovered in my wellness journey. And it's been a lot. And lately, it's been a lot. We've been sheltered in place since March. Fortunately for me, I am still working and working from home. However, that also means to say that there are a lot of less fortunate people that lost their jobs. And fortunately, they say anxiety is really, really up right now. And it's getting hard for some people because it started in March. And here we are, we're about to go into August. And that's almost 6 months. So I wondered and I sat down and I thought about it. I was like, what can I contribute? Because frankly speaking, I've enjoyed a little bit of my time at home and working from home. I'm learning to like it a lot. And I didn't think that I would. I thought I would be one of those people to go a little bit stir crazy, but it seems like I'm not going stir crazy at all. In fact, I'm getting more creative in this space. So I wanted to do my first episode on a Friday evening, and you can look forward to the episodes, my future episodes, um, launched on a Friday, and being able to hear the content that I'm bringing to you. First, before I get started into what I plan to talk about today, I wanted to introduce you to Pure Wellness and why am I Pure Wellness? And how did it come about? And who am I, even as a mere African American woman, to have a wellness coaching business? And this is not about coaching online, and it's not about getting you guys to sign up for anything. It's about giving you some free content about the things that I'm learning and the things that I've learned. So, why am I Pure Wellness? Well, I am Pure Wellness because this coaching business where I am right now was birthed out of my older sibling dying from COVID-19. And I was at one of those times when I was just at my low, and she had just passed away. She died in April of this year from, and I have the the death certificate, and it says on it pneumonia and COVID-19. And I was feeling really low and feeling very heartbroken. And I called a friend to kind of be consoled by. And after we got off that phone call and they shared with me and I shared with them how I was feeling. And, I'm really thankful for the friends that I have that I can call and I can just cry on their shoulder over the phone. And so that's what happened. So 2 minutes after I got off the phone with my friend, I got this voice that spoke to me and said, I need you. It's like the universe was talking to me. And I know because I'm a church girl, you might as well know that up front, that God just spoke to me and said, Pure Wellness. And I'm thinking, like, well, what am I doing with this? Because by trade, I'm a massage therapist. And right now, massage is not going on, right? Especially here where I am in California. And I knew from seeing the new regulations that I was going to have to pivot my business, but I really didn't know how that was going to happen. And then the death of my sister happened, my older sister. And I started to think, like, what am I going to do now? Well, I still have a job. Thank God for that. And then God just spoke Pure Wellness. And I began to ask questions. What does that mean? And I heard the voice say, preserve, uplift, restore, wellness. That's what happened to you. And I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? And I tell you, within the next 5 minutes, I not only had the name of the business, I had the name of the mission, I had the mission, and I had the vision for what I needed to do. And so this podcast is part of that. We'll call it a download. We'll call it that's what he did. He did a download. And that's what this podcast is about. It's part of the download. So here's my background in wellness. I've been a massage therapist for the last 28 years. And no, I didn't start when I was 7, but I've learned a lot of things about the body in terms of how it works, definitely what's in it, how it works, how it moves, and how wellness plays a part in keeping us healthy. And I will tell you, I was the worst person to be healthy. I was an unhealthy massage therapist helping plenty of people to be healthy. And I decided one day, I guess you could call it a midlife crisis, but I decided one day at the age of 50, so I'm dating myself and telling you my age, that I decided to get healthy at the age of 50. At the time, I decided to take care of my health and become the curator, the artist of my health. I had a really good best friend that was like a sister, and she had been diagnosed with stage 3 metastatic breast cancer. And later that year, she lost her life to the disease after having a mastectomy. And I was thankful because she actually threw my 50th birthday party, as sick as she was. But stranger things have happened, right? So I decided to, as she was going through her journey of trying to fight the disease and transition through the disease, I was fighting my own health and wellness to lose the extra body weight that I had on. I mean, I was 50% fat. I'm telling you, I was. I had it measured. I couldn't believe 50% fat. I didn't know somebody could be 50% fat, but I was. I proudly say that I'm now down to 37% and I'm still working on my journey. So that's why I'm sharing things with you, but that's who I was like 10 years ago. And I was also an African American woman in the corporate sector who was not trying to take care of her health. I was too busy trying to climb the corporate ladder, and I was in the for profit education industry, and I was too busy trying to climb the ladder. And I was too busy trying to keep my job because at that time we were going through an economic downturn. Well, subsequently, yeah, I ended up as part of the fall of that, right? So that's who I am. That's my, we'll call it my superhero story, and it's still evolving. I'm still evolving in my health. Yes, I lost my dearest sister friend to that. Yes, I lost my older sister to COVID-19. And out of that became a vehicle to help other individuals discover how to live their best life well. So that's my story. That's who I am. That's who Cheryl B is. And that's who and what I plan to share with the world. So I hope that you got a little bit out of my story, that it pays to take care of yourself. So let's transition into what I was going to talk about today. And it's I decided to name this episode called The Push. Now, why did I name it The Push? Well, there's a number of reasons that I'll share with you. So let me give you my definition of the push. The push is the momentum needed to start helping yourself, and it should not be ignored. That's my definition of the push. So, what was the push? What is the push? Why did I have a push? Well, I allowed myself to be in certain situations, and I allowed myself to be around certain people, and I relied on them for a whole lot of things that I should have relied on for myself. So, my question to you is, how often have you let people or circumstances push you around? And in that pushing you around, they took away your power. I'm going to let that marinate for you for a second, because that was a real defining moment for me, because I had friends that I had to actually dismiss because I allowed them to take away my power. Yeah, it's true. Me too. Me too. But I will tell you that allowing myself to get in some of those circumstances and some of those situations, for a lot of the situations, I became the fall girl. You always hear you always hear them talking about the fall guy. Well, I was the fall girl. And being the fall girl meant that I would take the fall for something that I didn't even do. I was taking ownership of somebody else's stuff. And taking ownership of somebody else's stuff made me unhealthy. Why? Because I was so busy taking care of them that I couldn't take care of myself. So I was hanging on to a corporate job that I really didn't want to be in. I really didn't want that position. I would have rather stay in my classroom and really took the time to teach my students and then not climb the corporate ladder. But something in me was really ambitious about climbing that corporate ladder. So I stayed in a job that I was unhappy with, and I didn't see a way out of that position. And I kept climbing to the point where at some point in time, that economic downturn happened in 2009, 2010. And guess what? I was not saved from that downturn. Nobody took responsibility to helping me to hold on to my job. So, what ended up happening is that someone above me came in and said, "We really don't need you." When I had been the one holding that particular school together. But they saw that, "Mm, we don't know why she's here. We don't know why she's earning this much money." And so they just came in. California had an at will, so they just let me go. That was a push, but I didn't take the push in the right direction, and we'll talk about that. The other thing was staying in loveless relationships. Why did I stay in so many loveless relationships? One relationship was 9 years long. Why? I was being pushed. I was being pushed around. I was being compared, but I could blame him all I want. But the real reason is that I was scared to step out of the relationship because I was uncomfortable at being single, because I had assumed all of his identity. Who he was is who I was. So he's pushing me, and the pushes were coming in the form of cheating in the relationship. Not by me, not Miss Loyal. Remember, I told you it took a lot to push me. So I was holding on to a loveless relationship, and he was going out there and trying to find the right person for him, because obviously I wasn't it. I didn't realize that till years later, till after the relationship ended. But the fact still remains, in both of these situations, I got pushed around, and I got pushed around by people and other things. And so I had to sit down one day. I was just so distraught, and I asked the question, why am I being pushed around like this? What did I do? What did I do to deserve this? And I had to sit in silence about that. And let me tell you, here's what I heard. I needed those pushes because I needed to be pushed in order to be able to realize that at some point in time, I needed to take back my power. And I mean that. It was, I'm not going to call it a shame, but it's awfully bad to give other people in other circumstances your power. You have no say, you have no direction. So, they say that when a woman is fed up, she's fed up. And I was fed up by this time. And so those pushes helped me to sit down, cry my eyes out, but then I decided I needed to take back my power. Sure, I didn't deserve what happened to me, but I also allowed it. So I relied on even these people and these things to take care of my health and wellness. And for me, health and wellness is mental, it's physical, it's spiritual, it's financial, and it's behavioral. And the only thing that was taking care of me at one point in time was the money. It wasn't anything else but that. And the other time, it was a warm body to stick my cold feet underneath during the night. And so that when I felt lonely and scared, there was somebody to hold on to. Well, those pushes helped me to start to look at my life, and they helped me to create my own momentum. And then I started thinking, like, man, I need to really take care of myself. What is going on? And during the course of those years and evolving to where I am today, as I look back 10 years, I was truly an unhealthy person. And had I not had my midlife crisis and taken control, I would have continued to be that unhealthy individual. But today, it's remarkable because I've made some changes in my life, and I can honestly sit here and tell you guys I am healthier now than I was in high school. That's just how much I allowed my power to be taken. So today, whenever I get a push, now I recognize it is a new and adventurous opportunity. It's an opportunity to do better. It's an opportunity to be better, and it's an opportunity to get better. Now, it's not a push. Now, it's just a gentle wake up call, just like my Alexa alarm clock that says it's time to get up. It's time to get moving under your own power. It's time to move with momentum. And it's time for you to live your best life well. And so now, in taking back my power, I am learning and moving through and moving with living my best life well. And I mean that. I will tell people that like to create drama in my life, I'm sorry. Your crisis is not my emergency. And mean it. I don't sugarcoat it anymore because it's my power. And let me tell you, I have learned about my past, and I have learned to say, you know what? Forgive yourself and don't be a prisoner of that past. So I forgave myself and I refuse to be a prisoner of my past. And what am I doing today? Every day, I'm doing something that's going to move me closer, and I'm doing everything I can about it to move me closer to my wildest dreams. And yes, still over the age of 50, yes, I have wild dreams. I have things that I need to do. I have places to go. I have people to meet. I have the new relationship that's going to find me and be everything that I've ever wanted. Yes, me. So I'm hoping that what I shared what I shared with you today, I hope it helps. I hope that you feel that you can recognize some of those pushes and recognize that those pushes pushing you around are saying, wake up, get up. It's time for you to live your best life well. So, let me tell you a little bit about what the future episodes are going to be like. I plan to bring you content that you can use to help you live your best life well. There'll be guests Not right now, but there will be guests. And my hope for you is that you'll be able to take some of this information, apply it to your life, and put it into action. And yes, even in the middle of a pandemic, you can still live your best life well. It just depends on how you look at the push. So I hope and I pray for you that the information and the content will help you to preserve, uplift, and restore your best you. Okay? So thank you for joining me and thank you for spending time with me here at the Pure Wellness. See, I messed up already, but guess what? This is going to be organic. The Pure Wellness Podcast. So, if you know friends and family that could benefit from the information, let them know Pure Wellness is available on Spotify, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Breaker, Overcast, and for those Android users, we're available on Google Podcasts. So I wish you health. I wish you peace. And until the next time, live your best life well.